Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. Welcome back for the movement Fierce Leader. That may be quite a discussion we have today, but do not worry. If it's too long, I like to have between 10-15 minutes max, and so if it's too long, I'll put them in separate videos so you can just listen, just a short video and then come back for the rest later. There is many topics I wanted to dive into. I was thinking this morning, and I can't even quite remember which one exactly, all of them, because I was driving, it was a lot of information all at once. But before I dive into that, I had questions about the masterclass, the butterfly effect. All informations will be communicated by newsletter. So if you subscribe to the link that is in the description of this video, you will have access to all the information when the release happens, when the day of the masterclass is, and how you're gonna be able to visualize it, okay? So far, it's most likely going to be really in the fall, so end of October, early November. Okay. Those who are seeing this video for the first, a video of me for the first time, just let me know. I want to welcome you properly in our movement, and those who are reliable, coming back every time, then I'm really happy you're here. All right, so let me put you straight here, and we're gonna start. All right. So the masterclass, the butterfly effect, compounding emotions. I'm gonna just do a little sneak peek here. Compounding emotion seems to me more and more important in times of uncertainty, in times of hardship, in times of challenges. So what happens is that we tend to focus on all what goes wrong. And that seems somewhat natural because we're just wired in a way that we can't just get what is wrong to survive. And so we just screen the environment. Somewhere in the evolution, it just slipped. And rather than adjusting actually, or radar on what is truly a threat and what is not, and what we can just evolve with, what we can learn to be more resilient for, our brain just made the basic concept, discomfort equal threat equal stress equal help, anxiety, panic. So it takes a conscious effort to understand, right? There is maybe discomfort, there is uncertainty, there is challenges, there is hardship and hard time, there is troubles. However, not everything goes wrong. People who picture life in all black and white are not objective. And I'm a firm believer that it's a very much all or nothing thinking. So if we see everything goes wrong, it's because our brain has learned to process just the wrong information, goes wrong information. It doesn't even see the good thing anymore. There is times where, it's like Murphy's Law. Like if one thing happened and a second and a third time, and then you may think, oh my God, everything is going wrong. But if you're truly objective with yourself, you're gonna see, well, actually, no. Actually, there's a bunch of things that are going well. But am I available to see them? So the Butterfly Effect Masterclass is gonna talk about this deeper. We're gonna dive deeper into all the things around emotions, all the things about emotional maturity, emotional management, emotional intelligence, how it impacts the body, and what we can do when we feel certain things in a certain way, depending on context. Because the idea is to compound the good times, that when we have a bad time, it's not as bad because we've compounded the good things first. So, short sneak peek about the butterfly effect masterclass, which is very much like, the butterfly effect is very much you receive back what you're gonna send out. It's compounded. And so you do one thing, it impacts something, and that impacts another thing, and that impacts another thing, and then it's kind of creating a loop. It's basically a butterfly doing something in Thailand impacts something here on another continent. Transpose this into how you react to different things in life. I'm not gonna say more of it. All the information, as I said, all the information will be provided in the newsletter. So if you're not subscribed yet to the masterclass, the link is in description, that you can add your address and not miss any detail when the release happens, when the day is scheduled for the masterclass. Okay? All right. So this being said, let's see what's going on. So, there is a lot of news going on around in the world. And I chose a while ago to not watch news every day anymore. I don't watch news on TV. I don't watch news on I don't listen to it on the radio by choice, and I keep myself informed by choosing what time of the day of the week I want to receive an information, and I'm gonna specifically choose from whom I receive the information. So I don't get passive information. I don't just sit in the car and then the whole news of the radio comes, or just sit quietly in the living room and all of a sudden the big news pops up on TV and for like half hour. No, I choose consciously where and from whom I get the information. Most importantly is what time. What time in the context. And so that's something when we're looking at managing the way we behave, the way we feel on a day-to-day basis. What happens is often, very anxious people, we hear, what's going on in the world, and you didn't hear about that, it's crazy, it scares me, what world are we going into? And so they get into this information because they just let them, it's like you would be a sponge and you would absorb all of it. If you're not consciously putting a bubble around you, like figuratively a bubble, you're basically taking in everything. But if you look at how you receive information, and you may even do a parallel between this and between having the conversation you have to have with your spouse, with your kids, with your friend, your parents, your employer, your colleagues. We don't pay attention to when and in which context we have the conversation, in when and which context we receive the information. So if you picture yourself in your living room, you had a long day. It was work all day long. You had a call here and an email there, tons of email and different calls, and then not enough time between to rest, and then you have to jump into a meeting, and I was like running all day long, and then come back in the evening and get the kids maybe to school, and then get the dinner ready, and then you finally settle in your living room where it's quiet and peaceful. You just need the little light mood, a little bit of distraction, You turn on the TV, and all what you get is news, news, news. This happens and this happens. Oh my God, that's terrible. You know what the last drama is. It's not about discarding that it's happening, but by the end of the day, when you're tired and you've had all the things, and then you're just needing a little bit of rest and self-care and relaxation, then putting on the news on TV is maybe not the best thing. Don't you think? It's the same concept. If you know you have had a long day, you haven't slept very well for weeks, and you're a little under stress at work, but at the same time you have to get the conversation with your spouse and your partner, and they're like, well, that's now or never. Like, okay, we're both in the same room, let's just do it. It's 9 o'clock in the evening, you're both tired and exhausted. Maybe not the best context. Because society goes so much into right now and here, quick fix, we forget that certain things, when we talk about humans and relationships and communication, certain things need to be taken with a lot more attention, given more time. Is that the right time here to speak? Is that the right time here to receive an information? Am I available for receiving that information or not? Maybe not. And that's okay, because we can maybe choose a time where I know I'll be more receptive. Maybe in the morning or around lunchtime, I'm more receptive. Or maybe it's a big topic we need to discuss, so I need to have a clear mind and take a special day for it, where I don't have too much meetings, I don't have too many things. Maybe a Friday will be good. So there is this conditioning that, I don't know if it's the industrialization that created that, but we want always more and more and more, and fast, and performance and efficiency and efficacy and all this quick here and now. And there is a lot of comfort having quick delivery and quick answer on the phone and quick email and instant texto and instant messaging. However, few things don't work like that. Actually, many things don't work like that. And you may be very surprised to observe on yourself if you start to be more cautious and paying more attention about when do you put yourself in situations where you're going to receive information or you're going to have discussions. When you start to be really intentional about when and in which environment you're having certain conversation, you're going to start to see that maybe you're more selective. Maybe you know you're not a morning person, so why would you have the most important discussion in the morning? If you know that until 9 a.m. you're not really ready there to have to work on the biggest project you have, well, why would you put your agenda to say at 8 o'clock I have to start on that because we have a deadline to meet and la 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 la? And we consider time in a way that we have X many hours in a day, and so it has to fit in those hours. And so we consider that our energy is gonna be linear in those hours, in this time frame. The problem with that is that, for example, you have a very important project to work on, and you just start, it's 10 a.m. and you're like, oh my God, I lost 2 hours. Maybe I should have started at 8 o'clock, and then the stress comes. Or maybe you may find yourself saying, I don't have time for anything. But because you're not compounding on the time slots where your energy is the highest, because you may consider your energy as it should be linear from when I wake up to when I go to bed, and I should have the same efficiency all the time, then you're not compounding on the times where you feel actually double more efficiency. On the times where you're gonna be super efficient, super productive. And so maybe it's not linear, maybe it's just going up and down, and you need to compound on the times where you're gonna have the most efficiency, the most energy and vitality to create things, to do the thing. And so that's maybe not what we see very often here. But I also feel it's gonna be more productive for everybody if each of us learn how to spot when is the time I'm the most productive, when is the time of the week, of the day, where I know I can work a lot faster and more efficiently than usual. And then you compound there. And then you don't have the guilt. You don't have the guilt of resting, of taking a break. Because in the time of rest and on a time where you take a break, you actually compound as well, to then be even more efficient later. So that's another thing to look at, how we consider time in our day-to-day life, when we need to have the discussions, when we need to work on certain things. Can we let ourselves be intentional about when do we receive information, in which context, what mood I am in? Do I have energy to receive that kind of information right now? Or do I need to rest before? It's questions that are important that we bypass whenever we're listening or hearing or watching information passively, because we're connected on TV, on computer, on the phone, or social media, and we're doing something and advertisement pops up or TV news pops up, and we're just actually having that intrusion in our private life. But was I ready to receive that information? Maybe not, most likely not. I'll let you think about it, and I'll let you think as a homework. How do you think it's impacting your mood and your energy when you let yourself receive things passively, bypassing your own readiness, availability, mental clarity, psychological state, energy, vitality? All right, that's it for now. I'll make another video. You can watch it later. I'll talk to you soon.